Check, check.
I gotcha.
Departure aircraft advised ground control direction of flight. Primary radar unavailable. Radar services are available from Salt Lake approach on transponder clipped aircraft only. Advise on initial contact. You have Mike.
Mike.
Approach affirmation, Mike. Time 1753 Zulu. Wind variable at 3. Visibility 15. Sky condition, ceiling 5,000 broken. Temperature 8, dew point 4, altimeter 3003. Visual approach in use, 90 runway 13. Departure aircraft advised ground control direction of
3003.
432 Provotar, runway 13, clear for takeoff. Westbound departure.
Oh, there, 75. From field elevation.
32.
Right.
Wolfstar 9, did you copy? Traffic at Diamond Star departing ahead of you. That's affirmative, Wolfstar 9, we have that traffic.
Alright, while we're waiting for that to warm up, do you know how to set this thing up so we could talk on these frequencies on this other radio?
I'll use this knob right here.
Okay.
So you just like, say we had a frequency in here, just switch it to 2.
Right.
And that becomes reactive.
Yeah, move that to 2 and we'll be able to talk in here on this radio. And then if we wanted to hear this one, what would we have to do if this knob was in the 2 position?
I'll put it to 1. Switch it up.
Alright. Good. And as it's set up right now, does that do anything?
Well, we're already listening to 125.3. So.
Right, so it doesn't really do anything at all.
Right.
Do you know what this button here does?
It's your pilot isolate button. Just in case you have a really yacky and talkative passengers, just flip that up and
Right.
it cancels all their stuff and you can still hear air traffic control. And
good. And then this knob here, our squelch.
Yep. Put it in line, that means it's on all the time.
Right.
So the lower it is, the lower the threshold for you to talk. So.
Alright.
Alright, check the max. 1001, 1002. 1001, 1002.
Tower Wolf 14 is reporting midfield downwind, runway 13, request full stop.
Harbor air temp, rise.
On downwind, approaching base, runway 13, clear land.
It's rising.
Clear land, runway 13, number 3.
Throttle's closed, needle split.
Wolf 14.
Under grip.
Mobile 1 program.
Split. Doors closed, latch, mine's closed. Frictions are off.
Wolf 1, proceed to glide slow via Charlie Bravo Alpha cross runway 18.
Alrighty. Roll it to 80.
432 for exchange approved.
Governor at 8. Under grip.
Did you copy?
Wrong throttle.
Say again, 432. 432 for exchange approved.
Good morning, light 97%.
Good.
We have information from Mike.
Alright, we'll go ahead and enter the pattern.
Alright, have aircraft on our rights. Left looks clear.
Pilot Tower 43 holding short of 13, we ready for departure. 43 Pro Tower, hold short runway 13, landing traffic. Holding short of 13, will 14.
Hover power at 21.5. Idle turn to the left.
remember to do your gauge checks once you get it up to a hover.
Yep. Green engine roller.
Okay, mobile 1, roger.
Bravo Tower helicopter 3179 Alpha attack air with Mike. Request join the batter.
3179 Alpha, Provo Tower. Taxiway Alpha, clear for takeoff, then make left traffic runway 13.
Taxiway Alpha, clear to take off, make left traffic 13, helicopter 3179 Alpha. Little high hover, full small carburetor heats.
There you go.
Right's clear, left is clear.
There's still a dude on funnel? Yeah. Yeah, there's two of them.
Zero 06, just stay on this frequency and taxi to UV via Alpha cross runway 18. UV via Alpha cross runway 16.
Takeoff check, 3 and green, engine roller green, no cautions, trim is down, carburetor's out of the yellow.
414, turn left at Alpha 2, taxi to UV via Alpha cross runway 18, just remain this frequency.
Exit Alpha 2, taxi via Alpha to UVU cross runway 18, stay on tower frequency 414.
443 Bravo Tower, right turn approved, runway 13, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 13143.
And remember, it's easy when you start that climb to forget to put more forward cycling back in once you start the climb to continue accelerating.
Yeah. 300 feet. Right's clear.
Bravo Tower, Wolf 09 is midfield right downwind for 13, will be touch and go.
Alright, we'll go ahead and start out with a normal approach.
Alright.
I'll let you pick which spot you want to go to.
Yeah.
09 at runway 13, clear touch and go.
Clear touch and go, 13, Wolf 09. Wolf 09, yeah.
This is a really good time to be looking for that traffic. When we report midfield downwind, it'll save radio calls back and forth to the tower if we can already say I got so-and-so in sight. But I don't see him.
There's one just taking off.
Oh yeah, got him. Hey, somebody reported midfield downwind not long ago, so probably getting close to base by now. But I don't see him, and we're midfield, so.
Right. Bravo Tower helicopter 3179 Alpha left downwind, midfield.
There he is.
Delta 79 Alpha number 2, Town on right base, runway 13, clear for the option. Report that traffic in sight.
Traffic in sight, number 2, cleared for the option, 130 helicopter 3179 Alpha.
Delta 79 Alpha, maintain visual separation on that katana.
We'll maintain visual separation, helicopter 3179 Alpha.
Alright, so he just turned base. So you'll have to do this one a little differently than normal. Slow down a little bit earlier.
Yep.
And, but still, normal approach.
Alright, we'll start our descent now. We got the green engine, roller green, no cautions, warnings. Carburetor's on the yellow.
443, Fergus change proof.
Frequency change proof 143.
Radar base. knots.
Ground runway 13, taxi via Alpha, Charlie Bravo Alpha,
300
runway
feet.
18, advise partly run up.
Alright, on final. A little slow.
What approach angle are we looking for?
Look for a 10 degree.
11, Bravo Ground, runway 13, taxi via Alpha, Charlie Bravo Alpha, cross runway 18, advise partly run up.
About the 1,000-foot markers.
11, the instructions are Alpha, Charlie Bravo Alpha.
Alright, so when we turned on final, we were at 40 knots and a little under 300 feet. So work on getting that right on.
Okay.
Make it easier to see your angles too if you're right at 50 and 300 every time.
Current altimeter 3002, wind variable at 5.
If you're right at the same altitude and airspeed every time you turn final, your attitude will be the same, right?
Right.
And it'll make the vision outside look the same. So here, would you say this is a normal approach?
It looks like it's me.
Okay, this is a little bit shallow. You said we're going to the 1,000-foot markers, right?
Correct.
Okay. Of course, I have a tendency to do really steep approaches. Huey says all my approaches are steep. So, this seems pretty shallow to me. But, I guess probably it's just a little bit shallow. However, it was really nice, very controlled. We're kind of pulling a lot of power, but that's because we have full carb heat.
Yep.
However, now the POH lets us do that, right?
Yep.
So if we have full carb heat, we can pull an extra inch and a half, so we can go all the way up to 23 inches if we need to. We just might not have it there, right? On a really hot day, we might not have. We might get to full throttle first.
Downwind for runway 13.
Alright, on the go.
Over the creek.
Alright, 3 in the green, road green. No caution warnings.
Right downwind for runway 13, report over the creek, Wolf 01.
Yeah, it was really nice and controlled. You got your angle. You held it all the way in. It was smooth. That was a good approach.
Cool.
I would just work on getting the setup consistent, which we're kind of squished here in Provo, especially with that airplane screwing us up. But once you get to that 300 feet and 50 knots, the reason why we went slower is because you didn't bring the power in. And it's easy to forget that. Once you get to the altitude and airspeed you want, raise the power to be able to hold it, and then keep it until you get to your angle that you like, and then lower it again.
Right. Are we standing left or going right?
He didn't say anything. Usually they'll tell us.
Tower Wolf 09 is midfield right downwind for 13, full stop, and we do have November.
However,
Turn on our tower runway 13, clear land.
really doesn't matter to us, and he didn't say make right traffic, so we'll just keep going.
Alpha, make right close traffic.
Right close.
There he is.
Make right close, traffic helicopter 3179 Alpha. Okay, 300.
Oh, Tower Wolf 01
right,
is
sir.
over the creek.
Let's roll 1, Roger. You'll be following a helicopter in right close traffic just off the departure on runway 13.
Follow the helicopter to runway 13 101.
Central aircraft, the runway 13 PAPI lights will be out of service here in a couple minutes.
Don't need them, dude.
Yeah, they don't help us much. Actually, we should have looked at them and seen how many reds we had, or I mean whites, because that helped. Because if we were, I think we were, well, that's only a 3-degree approach angle though. Those things will bring us on, so they would have been mostly all white. All right, you got anybody inside?
I was looking for the other track.
One turning base right now. I think there's another one in here though. I can't remember where he said he was.
He was gonna follow us.
Okay.
Midfield right downwind. Bravo Tower helicopter 3179 Alpha, midfield right downwind 13.
79 Alpha, number 2 Falcon on right base, and report that traffic in sight.
He's Just barely above the water level.
Oh, I got him. We have that Katana in sight, helicopter 79 Alpha.
Helicopter 79 Alpha, number 2, follow Katana. Traffic is full stop. Maintain visual separation. Runway 13, cleared for the option.
Number 2, clear for the option, maintaining visual separation. Helicopter 3179 Alpha.
Alright, let's do a steep approach this time. See the same spot.
Get our altitude, airspeed.
Sir 1, do you have a helicopter in sight just to head about a mile on downwind?
Negative, Wolf 01.
Back to the 1,000-foot markers again. Do it.
Purple Tower Wolf 02, 5.5 miles out. Coming in for touch and go.
Wolf 2, Purple Tower. Understand you're south of the airport?
Engine rotor green.
Affirmative, Wolf 02.
Wolf 2, Roger. Enter right down for runway 13 and report over the creek.
Purple Tower Wolf 01 is way past downwind Midfield request. Full stop, runway 13.
Wolf 1, number 2, follow helicopter turning final for runway 13. Runway 13, cleared land.
Follow helicopter for runway 13, cleared land.
Wolf 9er, turn left at Alpha 2. Taxi to the UVU via Alpha cross runway 18. Just stay on this right.
Right here. Start bringing that path. There you go.
Wolf 09 off at Alpha 2. Clear cross 18. There's the Rochenko right above the trim strings. A brisk walk, it seems like.
Wolf 0, or excuse me, Purple Tower Wolf 02 reporting.
Wolf 2, Roger. Did you want a full stop or touch and goes?
Touch and go.
Wolf 2, Roger. Report midfield downwind.
Report midfield downwind, wind Wolf 02.
Alright,
Wolf
very
1,
nice.
go around to the right side of the runway. Helicopter is on the runway still.
I'm gonna go right, Wolf 01.
Green in.
Okay, so we'll have him passing us on the right. Right there at the end of your approach, you're pulling just a little more power than you need. You see how we kind of stopped and then ballooned right back up?
Yep.
We didn't need to pull quite that much power. We can let it stop at a little bit lower altitude, or a lower height. So he's, glance out your window and
Got
see,
a shadow.
there he is. Alrighty, go ahead and take off.
Alright. Green, brother.
Wolf 1, you'll be following a Katana entering a right down, approaching midfield.
Follow Katana, enter downwind Midfield, Wolf 01.
Purple Tower Wolf 02, right midfield downwind for 13, touch and go.
I liked your airspeed and descent rate management. They were really good.
Wolf 2,
As we were getting to the 30 knots, we were getting to the 300 feet. And then as you went below 300 knots, we were 300 feet or less. So no problem. 300 feet per minute descent rate or less. So no problems there at all.
Alright.
I noticed some guys will get nervous when you're close to 330 and they'll try to get like 100 feet per minute descent rate, you know, make it extra safe, but then you just end up making the approach really steep and it's forcing it at the end. So that was really good.
Alright, that's about 300. The aircraft to our right.
Helicopter 79 Alpha, you're following a Katana heading to your right on crosswind turning downwind.
We have that traffic in sight, helicopter 3179 Alpha.
Alright, so that should be him. And then, yep, there's the other guy. Just two airplanes. Okay, let's make this next one a straight in auto.
Right in auto. Let's climb up to 5,500.
Purple Tower Wolf 01 is Down, midfield down, request full stop, runway 13.
Filter 1, number 2, follow Katana right base, runway 13, clear 9.
Follow Katana right base, clear to land, runway 13, 101.
Alright, so this time when you report downwind, so I've got traffic on downwind in sight, traffic on base in sight.
Our midfield. Bravo Tower helicopter 2179 around the midfield right downwind. We have the traffic on final and traffic on the right downwind.
Bravo 79 Alpha, number 3, follow Katana head on downwind. Maintain visual separation, runway 13, clear for the option.
Number 3, clear for the option 13. Maintaining visual separation. Helicopter 3179 Alpha.
Alright, he's starting his turn,
I got him.
but he's still pretty wide out there, so we'll keep it here at 60 knots.
On 13, for departure on Alpha.
11 Bravo Tower, hold short, runway 13 for landing traffic.
1 holding short 13.
Alright, that's our turn. A few minutes. A second.
I think he said he was going to be a touch and go, so shouldn't be on the runway for too long. Alright, we'll go to the same spot.
Okay.
1,000-foot markers.
Filter 2, squawk VFR.
Alright, we'll go in 3,
Block VFR
2, and 1. Bump up. Airspeed.
Alright, where do you think we're going to land?
Probably around the numbers, maybe 500 feet.
Yeah, that will be... Hopefully we can make the runway.
Filter 1,
We're
turn
gonna
left
put
Alpha
check
2,
65
taxi
in the
UV
green.
Alpha, cross runway 18.
Yeah, we won't even make the runway.
Go around.
We'll go ahead and bring on that throttle.
Alpha, V Alpha, request runway 18.
Alright.
Go.
I guess we could have just finished it and come to a hover over the dirt, but I think we are supposed to always do autos to the runway, so better to just go around.
Yep.
Man, I'm glad you remembered the carpet. Good job. Hey, on that one, you probably would have made the runway, except you slowed us way down to 55 on the entry.
Yeah.
So it was smooth. It was really nice. You didn't have any big RPM chasing going on, but it was too much aft cyclic.
Okay. I'm trying to find a spot on the windshield, like trim string, compass, where the angle would be for the auto rotations.
For when to enter?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough too, because the winds will change it so much, you know? But,
clear for takeoff on 13 on Alpha, clear.
I'm still getting used to the 22 again too,
Approved, thank you.
because the 206 comes down faster.
Right. Alright, 300. Right turn.
Bravo Tower, will 02 right midfield downwind for 13, touch and go.
Filter 2, runway 13, clear touch and go.
Clear touch and go, 13, will 02.
I missed that. I think she said midfield downwind?
Yeah, I got her in sight.
Okay. Yeah, most likely we'll be following her.
Pro Tower, helicopter 3179 Alpha, midfield, right downwind. We have the right downwind traffic in sight.
Helicopter 79 Alpha, number 2, Flight Katana. Maintain visual separation, runway 13, clear for the option.
Clear for option 13, maintain visual, number 2, helicopter 3179 Alpha.
Yeah, your radio calls are really nice too.
Thank you.
I like that they just flow real well. You're really relaxed. It doesn't feel chopped up and segmented.
Yeah.
So I can tell you're comfortable on the radio. That's really good.
No traffic observed south of the airport for exchange approved.
1211, frequency change approved.
Alright, sorry, right turn.
Alright, same spot.
Alright. We're 70 knots, we're out of the yellow. We'll go in 3.
Wait just a little bit longer.
Yep. That's gonna be a long countdown.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, 3, 2, and 1. Bumping up.
Alright.
Off that throttle, 65 knots, we're in the green. Coming down.
We're still not going to make it. We both struck out on that one.
Being trim.
Good. Go ahead and raise the clip. There we go. A little bit higher RPM, or a little lower RPM. We'll extend our glide some. So keep it right there. Oh yeah, a little lower. Good. Ease into the flare real smooth, since our RPM was already high. And then bring us to a stop. Alright, we were only 500 feet off. However, the airspeed was better on that. We were kind of chasing, but we were a little bit faster that time. But let you get everything stabilized.
Alright, hover, let's get this out of the yellow. Alright, 3 in the green and further green. Push forward.
So if we have high RPM, does that make us sink faster or slower?
We'll be getting faster.
We'll sink a little faster. Yeah, so on that one, since we wanted to extend it, you'll want to try to have an RPM a little bit on the low side of the green, maybe just slightly below the green for the glide, and then fix it by the 200 foot mark. I think today we really don't have much wind. We got a little bit of it, but it's a crosswind. Probably just a few knots, it's hardly anything.
Yeah. Feet. Got the other traffic in sight.
So far with these autos though, I haven't done anything on the controls. Unless I did it on accident. Have you felt me at all on the controls? I don't think I have.
Maybe with the throttle a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Adjust the throttle.
I will be on the throttle.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I need to look into it. I think when I was leaving, they made a rule, this was like 4 years ago, that the instructor rolled on the throttle on the flare.
Yeah.
Do they still do that?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I think with commercial guys, though, that's probably just private guys. So we'll still have you be doing the throttle on, because if we both roll it on at the same time,
Right.
it's easy to have an overspeed.
Yeah. Road tower, helicopter 3179er, Alpha midfield, right downwind. We have the downwind traffic inside.
Helicopter 79er Alpha, number 2, Falcon on downwind. Maintain visual separation, runway 13, clear for the option.
Number 2, clear for the option 13, maintaining visual separation. Helicopter 3179er Alpha.
Yeah, she's way out there.
Good thing they move fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we could probably get more patterns in if we went to Spanish, but then guys aren't comfortable in a towered environment, so
Yeah.
it's kind of a trade-off. Get a little less practice done on the maneuvers, but you get practice with the tower. Which actually, they're going to close this tower now.
Yeah,
Did you hear about that?
Yeah, pushed it back till June.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be yesterday. No, the 8th, April 8th.
Yeah, I hope they change their mind on that.
I do too. We really need a tower here.
Yeah, we do. It was madness before the tower came.
I bet it was.
Oh, and it was crazy madness when the tower first came.
Oh, really?
Because people didn't know how to talk to a tower.
Right.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Knots out of yellow. Wait a few seconds here. Alright, I'll go in 3, 2, and 1. That'll.
Okay, I'm just going to take that throttle out.
Green 75 knots, 70 knots. 200 feet.
Let's road to turn left Alpha 2, taxi
Very
UV
nice,
Alpha,
200 feet.
cross runway 1, just monitor ground.
Small flare.
Little up collective, I'm going to help you with it because we didn't want to flare quite that hard. We needed to hit that spot, but since we waited a little bit too long, you needed to flare just a little bit softer.
Okay.
And if it looks like you're gonna be a little long on that spot, and you got high RPM like that, you can actually start your flare a little earlier, and then you'll kill your airspeed a little bit sooner, and just allow the helicopter to still come down, and then you'll be able to shorten up the spot on the end. Does that make? Maybe we'll talk about it a little more on the ground, so I can draw a picture.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
I got the video too.
Oh yeah.
I look back, so.
Yeah. Very good. Go ahead and take off.
All right.
And we'll come around for another one. That one was really good. In the entry, things were kind of everywhere, but then you got them all fixed out. You got your glare. By the time we got down below 400 feet, it was money. And it stayed that way at 200 feet. And then the flare, we were a little bit, you kind of did a baby flare, and we got a good response. The RPM came up a lot.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, when that happens, just continue the flare. Don't wait until lower when you would normally flare, because we're getting a good charge from this one. So if you wait till you're lower, then when you flare, you can't flare very much because our RPM's high, right?
Right.
And then we ended up close to the ground with a bunch of airspeed, which if you want to stretch the spot, that's okay. But we were going to go past the spot, and you wanted to flare harder to get us right on it, but then the RPM was pushing the red line.
Right, I saw that.
So
300 feet. Bird down there.
on that one, all I did was pull up collective because we were kissing the red line.
I think I go a little too hard aft on the entry, causing the airspeed and kind of the bobble back and forth.
Yep. And
Oh, birds.
I don't remember on the other ones, but on that one we kind of yawed and held it for a second and then brought it over. So you might have been thinking about something else at first and then decided to think about the yaw later. But I think you'll be able to do it all at once. Just a little more right pedal during the entry.
The airport to our south looks like.
Yeah, I don't think he reported midfield downwind. Was he a full stop last time?
I believe so.
Oh. I should have been watching better.
Bravo Tower helicopter 3179er Alpha, right downwind, midfield.
Helicopter 79er Alpha, runway 13, clear for the option.
Clear for the option 13, helicopter 79er Alpha.
Alright, let's do another straight in.
Roger.
Yep, same spot.
Alright.
And that time your entry spot was really good. We, I guess it just slightly sooner than that would have been, you would have been able to do the same flare. But if we'd flared differently, you would have been right on your spot. And I don't think we went very far past it, so that one was check ride ready.
Right, it's clear. Alright, on the yellow, 70 knots. Going 3, 2, and 1.
Remember that as you raise the collective, that correlator is going to add some throttle. And it usually brings it up to 80 and then the governor starts messing.
RPMs are a little low.
Now notice what's happening right now. Careful with the aft cyclic, there you go. What happened there is you lowered the collective without doing any aft cyclic. We'll talk about it when we get to it, however. We're good at 200 feet check. Feels like we got a lot of energy. Nice. Managing. Good, and then just keep that aft cyclic in to bring us to a stop. Yeah, you did that flare really nice. We had a lot of energy, so if you'd flared harder like on the other flare, it would have done the same thing.
Right.
Good. What happened there when you're chasing your RPM, you lowered the collective and the RPM didn't move, right?
Right.
So you lowered it again. Still didn't move. What the heck? Then you noticed we were starting to go really fast. So you pulled aft cyclic and then whew, it shot up. So what happened, actually go ahead and take off and I'll jabber while we're getting back in the pattern. So when we lower the collective, the nose has a tendency to lower as well, right?
Right.
And when we do forward cyclic, the RPMs will drop, right?
Yep.
So you lowered the collective, which lowered the nose, which is the same as doing forward cyclic. So the RPM, although you lowered it, which would have made it go up, the nose dropped, which would have made it go down. So the two canceled each other out and it didn't do anything at all. We just started speeding up. And the speeding up happened slowly, so it took a little while before the airspeed indicator showed it. And by then we had a high descent rate, so when you pulled aft, it was a lot of air going up through the rotors and shot them up.
Yeah.
So remember when you lower the collective to raise the RPM, do a hair bit of aft cyclic if you like where your airspeed's at. So. Alright, ready to do some 180s?
Sure.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make this pattern closer. Let's go ahead and get a little bit more altitude before we turn. I usually like to get 400 or 500-ish. Of course, that's when I'm going to departure into 18, so we probably got plenty of room. We can go ahead and turn now. I usually like to be a little closer to the runway. Okay. That way you can get the turn done quicker.
Right.
And then later on in your training, when you start doing autos from 800 feet or 700 feet, it still feels the same.
Right.
It doesn't feel like you have to rush your turn all of a sudden because you're already used to doing a tighter turn.
Approach Tower helicopter 3179 Alpha, midfield, right downwind.
Helicopter 79 Alpha, runway 13, clear the option.
Clear for the option 13, helicopter 3179 Alpha. Alright, let's get our 75 knots here.
Okay, let's go to the 1,000-foot markers again.
Alright, get out of the yellow here. Enter in 3, 2, and 1. First turn. .65 knots in the green.
A little bit of right pedal, keep us in trim. Alright, there's 200 feet. Go ahead and roll on throttle. We'll do a go around. What happened on that one is just a little bit too long to start your turn.
Okay.
And when you did start your turn, it was really nice and smooth, but it needed to be a little bit more aggressive. Because it was just taking us too long to get around.
So is it safe to say, like, once you lower, start your turn?
Yep.
Alright.
Yep. Just keep in mind that while you do your turn, especially if you accidentally change the pitch of the helicopter, the RPM could really start coming up. Because turns will increase RPM, and it's easy to change pitch in a turn. So, just keep that in mind. The RPM can change quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do down collective, I'll throttle aft cyclic, start the turn. Up to the RPM. That's the way that I usually do them. Sometimes I'm already in the turn as I'm lowering the collective.
Right. Alright, 500 feet.
Yeah, I like to get my turn done quickly.
2 is 5 miles to the west, inbound for landing with information mic.
That way it becomes an easy straight in.
132, Provo Tower, enter right downwind, runway 13, report entry on the downwind.
Right downwind for 13, we'll report one on downwind, 132.
Provo Tower helicopter 3179 Alpha, midfield, right downwind.
Helicopter 79 Alpha, runway 13, clear for the option.
Clear for the option 13, helicopter 3179 Alpha. Let's get a little closer to the runway here.
There we go.
Alright, we're at 70 knots on the yellow. We'll go in 3, 2, and 1. turn.
A little bit of right pedal. If we do cyclic one way and pedal the other way, then the turn won't be very sharp. Yeah, there's 200 feet. And lower the collective as you roll out. There we go. Keep it right in the green.
Our flare.
Nice. Alright, that was really good, smooth turn. We were coming down a little faster than we normally would be because of a little bit of outer trim. And when you first started your turn, the helicopter didn't even really turn because we were too much left pedal.
Yeah.
And so getting the trim in right away will help the turn start happening right away too.
Right downwind for 13, request full stop.
Alright, try it again.
Yep, one more. Alright. I guess this is kind of a lot of autos for one flight. How do you feel?
I'm good for one more.
Clear to land for 13, 132, roger.
Throw down one more, I'll make this one a full stop.
Sure. I have to get out of the habit of pitching aft when I accelerate.
Yeah,
When I come off the ground.
Yeah, that's it'll get us started in our climb, but then you got to remember to put the forward cyclic back to keep going up to the 60. I have that habit too. I like to climb at 50. That's what we climb at in the 206.
Right.
So if I don't pay attention to it, I will. I'll just climb right at 50.
Alright, 500 feet. Yeah, I just noticed when it gets warmer out, this thing doesn't like to climb at 60.
Yeah.
At least in my experience, 53, 55 works pretty well. Obviously that's your VY speed, so.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll definitely climb better at those speeds. That probably would have been our climb speed, except for the high velocity diagram. Just that,
Right.
There's that few hundred feet where we're in the high velocity diagram at 50.
Traffic on final, I see him.
On this next one, enter it a little bit further away.
Okay.
Because if you get your trim right early and your turn gets you turning right away, then you'll be even longer than we were on the last one.
Okay.
So just a little bit later on the entry.
Bravo Tower, helicopter 3179, up in midfield, right downwind, full stop. We have that traffic and final in sight.
Helicopter 7 and Alpha, number 2, follow full stop, Diamond Star traffic, short final, first and threshold, number 2, runway 13, clear to land.
Clear to land 13, number 2, helicopter 3179, Alpha.
Yeah, so on that last one we were only about 300 feet long or so, but if we'd gotten our turn in right away, then we wouldn't have been finishing the turn real close to 200 feet, we would have been more like 300 feet, and we would have gone probably 500 foot long.
Alright, we'll try it from here.
Yeah.
Going 3, 2, and 1. Start turn.
Put more right pedal.
RPMs are low.
Alright, we're not done with our turn yet. It's below 200 feet, so I'm bringing on throttle. Let's go ahead and just bring it in, kind of like the end of a quick stop here.
Taxiway Alpha cross runway 18 and remain this frequency. Have a good day.
Taxi view Alpha, cross runway 18, roger, thank you, full 32.
Helicopter 7 under Alpha, air taxi is approved to TAC Air, pass behind the Diamond Star at Alpha 2.
clear attack air pass behind the Dino Star, behind right at Alpha 2, helicopter 317 enter Alpha.
Alright, let's do this air taxi, and then when we land, we'll talk about that last one.
Okay.
You know what went wrong?
A lot of it. I was chasing the RPMs.
It was actually really good, the first half. It was really nice. And then the RPM came down just a little bit, and you lowered the collective without doing any half cyclic. And then our airspeed started increasing. I think you even did just a tiny bit of forward cyclic, because I said we passed behind this guy. Maybe he just intended.
Direct and behind.
Bravo Tower, Wolf 1-1 has information. November is
Yeah, we'll definitely be way ahead of him, so we should be okay.
To touch and go at 1-3.
Wolf 1-1, Bravo Tower, enter right downwind, runway 13, report entry on the downwind.
Wolf 1-1 will enter right downwind and will report entry.
Alright, right where we picked it up from. Go ahead and take it back there. Yeah, on the 180s especially, it's really hard to notice that nose low. But we were pretty nose low. It would have eventually sped us up to about 75 or more.
Right.
And the descent rate was really, really increasing a lot. So that was what made it to where we were just coming down too fast. We didn't have enough time to get the turn done.
Get to a hover, slow descent. Throttle, go.
I think on almost all of your autos, you have a tendency to not do enough right pedal on the entry.
Yeah.
And then with your straight ins, you notice it and you fix it. And with the 180s, you're busy with the turn and looking at your spot. And I think I reminded you on each one
Yeah.
a little more. And it's kind of hard to see it, but if you can only see one string, then you're definitely out.
Yeah, I can only see this right side.
Yeah, so you want to get it to where, well, you could only see the right side. Let's see, this other string was going pretty far over.
Yeah, it depends how much out of trim I am. I can see
Right.
it. I try to cross-reference with the inclinometer ball, and it's kind of hard to look here,
Yeah.
RPMs, that. You know,
Yeah, and we're left skid low a little bit usually too, so the inclinometer ball's not perfect. The trim strings will be the better indication. I think if I remember right from that seat, if you can see this string, you probably need right pedal.
Okay.
So that's a little bit of a rule of thumb to follow.
All right.
I'd have to fly that seat a little more to test it and make sure of it, but I think that'll work.
Cool. All right, engine's cooled. Throttle off. Clutch disengage, 30 seconds. Yeah, these boots aren't helping either with the trim and all that. They're just so bulky. I didn't think about it while I left for work yesterday.
Yeah, small light shoes.
Yeah, running shoes are my favorite.
Yep.
Yeah,
remember to watch the sides too. Something that's smooth. I had a pair of shoes once that would catch the little tongue there on the side of the pedal. I'd catch there all the time, and I kept telling the instructor, "Hey, you're stuck on my pedal," but it was me.